In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a boring website beautiful. I'm going to be talking about different aspects of your web design and provide you with some tips and tricks to help you get going. So without further ado, past self, take it away. So let's talk about colors. Colors help evoke feeling. They help contribute to the mood of your website. If I were to describe color in terms of personality, I would say it's kind of like your demeanor. One thing to note is that colors and photos go hand in hand. They're kind of like a package deal. I can't tell you how many cute websites I've designed that I ruined because I chose the wrong images. Oftentimes, I've found it easier to actually choose your colors based on your photos, because people usually have a set of photos that they already want to use on their website before they start designing it. One trick to determine the right colors to pair with your photos is to, and I actually learned this from the I Love Creative Squarespace course, which I've talked about in probably several other videos, is to use the eyedropper tool. Instead of having to figure out color combinations or create color schemes on your own, you can borrow from what's already out there rather than trying to eyeball what colors work together. Pretty much every design software out there has some form of the eyedropper tool, so definitely take advantage of that. Now, photography can really make or break your website if you decide to use any photos at all. Photos enhance the look and feel of your website and can also help tell your brand's story. Using the right photos is key to designing a killer website. In my opinion, good photography is the difference between a good hair day and a bad hair day. It doesn't matter if your outfit is on point. If you're having a bad hair day, forget it. Another important thing to keep in mind when you're picking out your photos is to maintain consistency. So that just means that your photos share a similar vibe and they don't look like a collage of disparate images that just don't go well together. One easy way to do this is to find photos taken by the same photographer. For instance, when I go on unsplash.com, which is a stock photography website, I like to click on the name of the photographer to find other similar photos. I've also done this on Stocksy, which is another stock photography website, and it makes it really easy for you to see all of the photos that a specific photographer has taken and to even find photos that use the same model. If you don't have a high-quality professional photo of yourself, then take one and try editing it to the best of your ability. And if you are just really not good at taking photos and editing, then try to find stock photos that have people in them so that you can add that personal touch. If you have an online shop, then transparent photos, PNG files, can really add more depth to your website as well. Typography is so important because it affects things like the readability of your site, user perception, the level of professionalism, mood. Good type is like the friend in the friend group who brought everyone together, is the life of the party, sets the tone when everyone is hanging out, but then when that person is gone, things just feel really awkward and you're like, please come back because the dynamic is not the same anymore. That is the power of the presence of type. When you choose good type for your website, you notice an immediate difference. Like it can immediately elevate your design. Basically, you need to be as selective about your type as you would be with the people you invite into your close circle of friends. Because when it comes to your website, it's best to stick to a few carefully paired fonts rather than investing in a bunch of different fonts that just aren't doing anything for you. Textures such as gradients and paper backgrounds, or even images with low opacity, can help supplement the information on your website without distracting from it. Textures can also help visually communicate information or make specific sections of your website stand out in a subtle way. I would keep the textures light or at least not very eye-catching so that one, if you have text over the textures, then the text is legible, and two, the texture is only serving as a secondary visual element. If you have a portfolio site, then use Mockups to showcase your work. You can find mockups on sketchappresources.com, Behance, or even just Google mockups and you'll find plenty. I'll leave a couple links in the description below. Another way to make your website beautiful is to make use of white space. Let me look up the definition of white space. So according to this Medium article, white space or negative space is the space found inside and surrounding the other design elements. White space can be compared to a canvas. It serves as the background that holds different elements together in a design. Despite its name, white space does not need to be white. It can be any colors, textures, patterns, or even background images. That is the sound of a toilet flushing. Using white space can make your site look less busy, especially if there's a lot of content on there or you want to bring attention to specific elements on the page. This episode is not sponsored by Squarespace, but I built my website on Squarespace and multiple client sites as well. I use it religiously. I've been using it for 4 years and I still freaking love it. So I'm just putting it out there. Squarespace, if you want to sponsor me one day, the door is open. Okay, I'm going to stop gushing about Squarespace now. Back to the video. Add simple animations using CSS, or if you're on Squarespace, then you can take advantage of Squarespace's built-in animations. On my website, I animated the submark in the footer of my homepage, and I also added a marquee that says, "Let's work together." If you do have some experience with CSS, then I highly recommend trying CSS tricks like box shadow or playing with your line block and other cool tricks that you can find on Google. Incorporate design trends. I've seen a lot of people make use of simple shapes to liven up and add variety to their designs. Here's an example. So for general inspo, I like to go to the same few reliable sources: Pinterest, Instagram, and my own curation of websites that I have been accumulating over the past few years. And these 3 sources never fail me. I have a couple different mood boards on Pinterest dedicated to website and UI design inspiration. I also save a bunch of graphics on my Instagram account. But there are also a lot of other places that you can go to for inspiration. So for example, there's Behance, there's Dribbble. And the cool thing about Dribbble is that you can save all of your images into collections or what they call buckets. I guess you can think of it as like an album. But yeah, Dribbble is also a great place to find your design inspo. You can find inspiration everywhere, but just make sure to collect and save all of those images that you come across so that you can start accumulating your own library of design inspiration that you can easily refer to whenever you start a new design project. All right, well, I hope you found that video helpful, and if you're completely new to this whole field, or you're just not a designer but you really want to DIY your website, Squarespace again is a great place to start, and good luck with your website. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you in another video.